What's up, ladies and gents? Hopefully you can hear me all right. Hopefully that's going okay. We're going to try something a little different today. It's been a weekend. When hasn't it? But it's been a bit of an interesting one. Some work-related stuff's gone on. I've had a lot to think about. And as a result, my kind of cognitive ability is somewhat close to zero. So here's what I'm thinking: is I'm going to crack on with some Molina Mold stuff, and kind of talk with you guys as we do it. But this way we can kind of do like the gameplay stuff, and I don't have to sweat so much about keeping my opinions in check and stuff, and kind of finding stuff to talk about, because we can just kind of talk about the game in general and do all that sort of good stuff, whilst I'm singularly failing to use the tractor beam on the hammies. But I thought that might be a little bit more fun. Let's start traditionally as we always have done. Good evening to Wutahak, the Base Truther, Tibbs, Ray Lauderbeck, Edison, AV, Jamlack, Space Saga, Calco, Marcus, and anyone and everyone else who's in. I will not lie to you guys. I was right up against it as to whether or not I thought I was going to do this, because I'm that tired, and I'm a little bit concerned about my ability, more than normal, to string a sentence together. So if it goes really bad and I start just getting to the point where 404 badges not found, I will cut it short, because it's not going to be fun for you, and I'm going to feel shitty doing it. So, yes, that's what we're going to do this evening. I think that's not a bad way of doing it. Whilst we're getting some of this stuff done, whilst I'm mucking around and doing all the Molina Mold stuff. Now, I don't know also what the stream quality is going to hold up like, because as we know, trying to play this and stream it all on the same PC when your graphics card is a 3080 is a little bit challenging. So I have knocked all of my graphics settings down as far as they will go. I think I might have ground textures on high and objects on medium, but that's about it. Like, everything else is pretty bad. So if you're looking at my armor thinking I look like a piece of chewed bubblegum, you're probably not wrong. It is what it is, and uh, 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 uh. Let's just try that. Let's see if that works. Does that work? Oh, he's fixed it, but he's not fixed it. let's give that a go and see if that plays. Oh, and we'll go from there. I think that's not a bad plan. Are you guys all right with that? Duke's there, welcome in. Good to see you, buddy. Does that work with everyone else? What do we think? I know I'm coming out on comms, so I think it's probably going to work, question mark, but you guys let me know. Jamlack says sure, so that's it. It's all Jamlack's fault now if it all goes horribly wrong. So I do have some good news. Speaking of Jamlack, I'm up for Anderson says Black and Death's welcome in, buddy. Good to see you. Long time no see. That's a dangerous suggestion here in this channel. But what I will say to you, bud, or say to everyone, is it looks like we have a solution. So some exciting news. It looks like I've been very kindly donated an entire rig. So it looks like I'm going to be able to have a streaming rig. We're going to be able to do this far more kind of usefully. Yeah, I know my camera's just gone. I saw that. So yes, hopefully we'll get something a little bit kind of more useful. And look, if the camera's going to continue doing this shit, then excuse my language, then that's going to be it. But I've got a long story short, big day at work tomorrow. Lots of stuff happening, some stuff that's potentially going to have a knock on my private life for the foreseeable future. So it's been a little bit kind of stressful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn, just for fun, I'm going to do that and get rid of me, hopefully. Hopefully that's worked for you. I don't know if that's worked for you. It looks like the entire system's about to fall over. Or is it? There we go. Okay, so I think we might be in a much better place. There we go. Arcade Alchemist, welcome in. Fairy Faller is still the caterpillar, says Wooter, but that will change soon, hopefully, with the Ironclads. Jukester also looking forward to the Ironclad. Yeah, so I basically upgraded. You'll remember that in my fleet setup there was the what's the word I'm looking for? Retaliator. That's the word I'm looking for. So we had the Retaliator, and now that's been temporarily upgraded to the Hermes. I had the ability to do it. I think I had the credit basically left over from some armor packs and stuff. So I've gone up to the Hermes to give it a go, and I wasn't kind of sure which way I wanted to play. Now, here's a question. So we've got the little Molina Mold things, like the mushroom cap things. So I've got 30 of those. So I can hand in 6 of those. I've also got one of the cryopod missions for 12 of them. They don't look too happy. I've also got the 8 samples of Molina Mold, all heading to New Babbage. Do we think we can pick up some more? Or do we think that we've got... Do we think that's it? Have we risked it enough? Have you seen enough Hermes tractor beam gameplay, or do you want me to see? Do you want to see me screw up some more? Okay, so it does say here that it's not receiving enough video, so I'm just going to try something. Give me 2 seconds. La 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 la. So hopefully that fixes a little bit and the stream health should pick up. I don't know. Because I'm not going to be honest, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do if this doesn't want to play. Because like I say, I'm kind of struggling a little bit with stringing the sensors together, as you probably already figured out. But there we go. I started the Hermes. Honestly, the tractor beam is worse than just the handheld beams to load it. See, challenge accepted. Let's do a little bit more on the whole tractor beam thing, because I think I'm getting it better now. What I haven't done is I haven't loaded 8s or 32s, 8/16s or 32s. So maybe we go and buy a few of those just to see what happens. And if it goes well, I'm running in completely the wrong direction, right? Because I'm an idiot. Yes. So let's give that a go. See what happens. Hopefully that plays. How's that? Has that kind of fixed some of the? Has that fixed some of the issues with the stream quality? It's not going to be great, guys. I'm not going to lie. I'm trying to play this and stream it all on one rig, so it was never going to be like on a graphics card that's 2 generations old. It was never going to be incredible, but hopefully it can be a little bit better, a little bit smoother. I've basically turned off NVIDIA broadcast, so you might hear a little bit of my keystrokes and stuff, but I'm hoping that that's going to be not as bad as the rest of it. What do we think? We good? Will you be popping down to CitizenCon if they do it in Manchester again? I don't know. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I reckon that what we're going to get is we are going to get another CitizenCon direct this year. Oh, no! Ugh. I just... Ugh. Keyboard ASMR said needless. Yeah, 100%, mate. Yeah. Keyboard ASMR, absolutely. I'm not the bad guy. I don't know why everyone's like, I'm not a bad guy. I'm a good guy. Why is everyone freaking out? I have no idea. Not gonna lie, I ended up using the Asgard, says AV, because of the ease of loading and unloading. Being able to use a tractor rifle and the Atlas is just so much easier for me. Yeah, absolutely. And I understand that. Insert lift music. This year is a digital as well, but if I recall, they rotate the CitizenCon locations between the studio cities. Yeah. So the last one was Manchester, right? We haven't had a Hamburg one in a while. Hamburg, Frankfurt, whichever one it was. We haven't had one of those, I don't think. There is also the possibility, of course, that they might end up going to Canada. And that'd be kind of cool, but I'm not going to Canada. Nor am I going to... Uh, nor am I going to America for this, unfortunately. Not unless something kind of significant changes in the short term. So there's a couple of bugs that seem to be very recurring at the minute, and we'll cover them as we go through. But I'm not gonna lie. Here, there's been a couple of ones that I've seen quite a bit of, and I guess well, we don't need any of this stuff, do we? None of this stuff is useful, so it's fine. Maybe we'll go and pick up another mission and we'll load that up, but I think we'll be okay. Vertical people mover. You mean a lift? So yeah. I just finished the event. I finished the event in 2 days, just grouping up, and currently I am just bored with the game. I have over 3 billion EUEC, and the new salvage missions are just not up to par. Yeah, so that's that. I kind of said this last week and the week before. Hey, Luna, good to see you. Yeah, this is what I said about people rushing through. So everyone seems to, oh, there's new something going on, and I will do. We will rush through and complete it straight away. Well, this time they told us March 17th was going to be the completion date. So we knew going in when this was going to end. And that's it, is that people rush through and then go, oh, well, we've got 2 months now till the next patch. It's like, yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. And I kind of, I kind of think that maybe people can slow down and stuff. But yeah. Black and Earth says, shame really, I fully enjoyed the Manchester one. Was a lot of fun to go to Vigil and meet you guys. Yeah, it was good fun to meet up. That was really, really cool. The speed that lift took up before the door had even closed would have OSHA throw kittens. Someone is getting fired over that, no doubt. I hope it's not digital. CitizenCon is our yearly celebrations as widget, and it felt flat last year. I actually quite like the digital one. I feel like they got as much in those 2 hours as they have done in like a day's worth of stuff before. And if that's gonna help kind of like I don't know, help them pick up the sort of the pace with it all, if you see what I mean, then I don't actually have a problem with that. Right. So do I want to load 35 cryopods? The answer is probably no, right? That just sounds like it would be awful. Okay, let's get going. That's enough. I don't feel like I want to go and unload all that stuff. So yeah, we've also seen on previous events that they're broken at the end, so you can't complete them anymore. Yeah, I mean those ones, especially the ones recently, they extend it and they try and fix it. There are a few things on here that seem broken. So the one that I found that is most annoying is the collections stream, where you have, handing in borays is what I've been doing. I've been mining it in Prospector, refining it, and then going to hand it in. I did 19 of those yesterday, 15 of which handed in successfully. 4, though, unfortunately, decided that they were going to hand in, and it was going to take the stuff out of my inventory, but they didn't complete. It registered that 3 out of 3 were gone, but unfortunately, I just had to suck it up that it didn't actually complete, and I actually had to abandon the mission to open a repeat. So I'd taken everything to Tisa Spaceport, and yeah, that's just annoying, and I guess it's kind of, the way it is sometimes with this game, but it's that. I like to rush through event missions. That's not the problem. My problem is that the missions are just more of the same. We've always had to do. It's just pew pew, grab boxes, buy cargo, and deliver. I mean, yeah. I mean, where does ASD and Stormbreaker fit into those? Into which part of the pew pew, grab boxes, buy cargo, and deliver? ASD Stormbreaker, you know, Hathor. Has anyone else been having issues with handheld tractor beams in VR? They're very slow for me, and the beam gyrates wildly in the circle, basically unusable. Well, that doesn't sound great. Yeah, that sounds a bit rubbish, to be honest. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's that. There we go. Stunted gateway. Click. No, other way. So there we go. Yes, they did get the same level of information in, but I'm here for the bullshit in between the panels and the tours of the venue and the coverage from creators afterwards. Yeah, I get that. I mean, so how do we feel about that in terms of, is that worth potentially the impact that it has on their development speed? Maybe, do you think? I'm not. I'm not. That's not a loaded question. That's just a genuine. What do we think? Elevator, just eating your ghost. I want to be on the beach, cocktails, beautiful ladies. That too, absolutely. Yeah. I'm more concerned about the live Q&A this coming week about the new missions. I'm just worried people will only state that the moth is broken, or that basically the new missions suck. I mean, the live Q&A, they'll curate it as much as they can. You know, if it's about the moth, they just won't answer the questions, right? And they're pretty good at getting rid of the if they pre-populate Spectrum with anything as well, then they'll keep it on topic and they'll go deleting stuff, or at least comment and say, hey, the moth has nothing to do with the missions. But yeah, it's the same missions as Save Pyro, just renamed. Yeah, sure. That said, it's obviously still being massively engaged with by people, given the whole. Right, where's the jump gate thing? If I come in at a weird angle, of course it's behind me. Why wouldn't it be behind me? That's just naturally. There we go. Lovely job. This is where I slam backwards into the station. You watch. There we go. We got some forward motion. It's all good. More concerned about the live Q&A coming the week. Yeah, that's it. But we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not all of this hands in correctly. I'm going to go ahead and say probably not. But, we'll give it a go anyway. Just going to drop the SCM speed back slightly, because I reckon that'll close before I get there. Because that's been open since before I turned. Maybe not. But that's it. What's your fave Harmy's paint? That one, Honor Bound. I know it probably looks the same as the other one in Shadow, but that is the Honor Bound paint, I promise. There we go. Oh. Oh, of course it's closing. Ugh, I did say, didn't I? I called it. I called it. There we go. Lovely jubbly. Still, I do kind of like this. Because that's cool. Oh, have I moved too far away from it? I have, haven't I? Lol. Most of the questions I saw that were upvoted are ones about either ships or bugs, not much about the feedback on the new missions. Yeah. But that, I mean, that doesn't mean they're going to answer those questions, right? It just means that people are upvoting the wrong stuff. They'll just skip those and go to the stuff that is open. There we go. Boom. That is still very cool. Even on low, that looks hot. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. Now hopefully I can get through it without, getting bounced off it again. Oh no, too late. Oh no, we're all over the place. Whee! I've seen that graphical bug a couple times, and it normally pre-warns that the jump tunnel doesn't work and bugs out, but we're all right. We're all good. We're through. It's going to be fine. What could possibly go wrong? The jump tunnel itself is much worse on low, but I can just about... It's when you get into that little particle stream, and then you can't see anything. So it's like, I know you're supposed to help get me there, but honestly, you're just a hindrance at this point. It's just not... There's no need. There's no need. So yeah. So anyway, this week, obviously, we had the Moth come out, and I did a video on that one. In fact, it was quite a long video by the time I'd gone through and looked at everything and reacted to their videos, and we gone and investigated stuff. So that was interesting. That's around if people want to watch that. Yeah, we had the Koramor stuff released, which the less said about that, the better. Dear. Yeah, looking at you, Jamlak. Oh, probably don't want to do that bit. Let's go this way instead. But yeah, I've quite enjoyed the Hermes since picking it up. You know, I don't think I find the tractor beam as you know, tough to deal with as some people have. I still find it quite good fun and doable, but okay. So there we go. Insufficient fuel. Excellent. So let's go to Nick's Gateway and pick up some fuel. That's probably a good shout, right? Can you imagine trying to run the Orion through a jump point? I think it might be quite tricky. I'm kind of hoping that for the big ships, like, decent pilots are a thing. You know, at least some level of... I don't know what you'd call it, but some level of skill required where it helps or reduces the wear on the hull or something like that. That'd be kind of useful. But, you know, what do I know? I just play games. Why, don't you like to wear a pink Power Ranger suit? Not massively, no. Not generally my thing. Pink, mate, is just not my colour. I'll say that now. And anyone that has seen me wear pink will tell you I am not lying to you. So there you go. Yeah, there's that. And for those that haven't seen me wear pink, there's a mental image for you. Enjoy that. That one's for free. Any other mental images like that, there will be an OnlyFans. So there you go. Just the Orion, same size as the Idris, though. Yeah, you'd expect it to be far less. What's the word I'm looking for? Far less nimble, right? Okay. If we can get this down. I just need to touch down for some fuel, and then hopefully that'll be it. We can go. But let's find out. Hey, there we go. All right. You watch someone ram me on the pad now. Okay, good. That's not gonna work. Why am I back into nav mode? I don't want to be in nav mode. Maybe the one on the other side will work? Question mark? That's where we find out they're not perfectly aligned. No one's going to ram you. I mean, I admire your optimism there, Arcade, but I've been playing this game too long to... Okay, cool. Now you're mentally blind. Well, you're welcome. And then we're going to have a nice long time in Quantum Flight to talk about it, so that'll be good. Land in the middle usually works. Yeah, we seem to have got there eventually. Let's go to New Babbage. Here we go. So we go. Threading the needle or end up with a howling mad murdoch. There you go. I have noticed it seems to be some Alliance egg crates that have the most issue with the tractor beam. Mold treatment is the worst. The Molina Mold stuff, yeah. Badges when you break out the sticks. So the sticks. So I've got the throttle and I've got the I've got a control panel. I've got the mounts. The sticks themselves are pre-ordered, so they will. The production run is in April, so it's going to be a little while yet, and hopefully there will have been some changes between then and now, which I'm not going to go public just yet with what's happening, but having said that, it is very exciting. I'm looking forward to it, and we'll see. And if it does happen, you guys will be the first to know. I'll take you and show you everything that's been changed and all that sort of good stuff. So we'll get there eventually. We'll have a look. But yeah, so yeah, there's been some interesting kind of bugs with the event, but I seem to be making fairly good progress. So all of this has been done. We did the combat one on one evening. So we took a pair of Perseus out, I think, or a Perseus and a Polaris, and we went and did the combat ones for this. So we smashed through that quite quickly. The other stuff, we're getting there. We're getting there. So, yeah, we're making it, and it won't be too long. That's a crazy amount of aid. Um, So yeah, so the sticks that have been ordered are I forget the name of them, but the ones at 45 degrees. So they're not in production yet. So their first production run is April. Um, the Virpal ones. We've got the Virpal pedals, the Virpal throttle. I've also got twin sticks, so I'm going to be able to have the whole setup to do whatever I want. It's gonna, there's gonna be a lot of stuff there, and I also have a flight control panel. God knows what I'm doing with that, but I'll figure something out. So that's quite exciting. Quite exciting stuff. How's the volume working, guys? Is the volume all right? I've also noticed that the bitrate for the stream has improved massively since we left Nick's, which will surprise precisely no one who's played this game for any sort of time. But yeah, so that's that. So we'll get this done. As I've said before, we've got 30 of the Molina mold, the actual like the mold shrooms themselves. I've got a bunch of those in my backpack, and we've got the stuff that's in the back of the Hermes. So, hopefully that'll be enough to maybe push the transport one over the line. Don't know. We'll see. But if not, there's plenty of time. What I was going to do today, and I ended up not doing, was I was going to do a bunch of mining in the prospector and put the work orders on so I could just deliver them in the evenings, like when I come off work and stuff. And that's not happened, but that's okay. There's plenty of time left. March 17th, so still got a month and 2 days, or 30 days from now if you count the fact that it's February. Um, we got time. We've got time for those that haven't caught this up. If people are wanting to get stuff like combat done, you can always join us on a Friday. We do 9 p.m. UK time, Friday night shenanigans. You can just come join the Discord. Links in the description. Jump into wherever everyone is. You don't need to be part of the org. You don't need to have come in first time. And even if all you want to do is come in, chill out with us and on stream, or, not on stream, sorry, chill out and play and not talk too much, you can do that too. You do need to have a little bit of a grown-up sense of humour. We don't, it's not all family-friendly stuff. You probably don't want us on loudspeaker, but, we're a good bunch. Rescue Shack says, do you have your own control mapping, or have you stuck closely with the default while they're doing the wipe? Since coming back to SC, I spend more time remapping controls and voice attack. Yes, so I haven't done anything with mapping at the moment, because like I say, the sticks haven't arrived yet, and won't arrive for another couple of months. Because pre-order. Hey, Timble, good to see you. Welcome in. So there you go. Oh, Chief Paranoid Officer got lucky and found a ton of pressurized ice on port. I said, nice. Good to know. Yeah, sometimes it's nice to be able to do that. Oh, you probably wouldn't have had sound for a little while because I kind of alt-tabbed out for a bit. But yeah, so the paint's the Honorbound paint. You can see it now. I like this more. I've actually got the olive green paint for the Constellation, which is slightly darker and slightly more green. It's more like an olive drab for the people that know military colours. And I really like that. This one's more blue than that, but that's not to say that it's a bad paint. It's just, you know, we got some damage. The Hermes has been going for a little while. We've got some paint wear on the front, you know, going in and out of atmosphere will do that to a ship. But yeah, there we go. And I'm quite pleased with how the ship looks. Like I said, everything's on low to try and help with the stream, but a solution is on the horizon. A streaming PC will be making it to us. I'll get a pass-through card or a capture card with pass-through, so we will have a much better stream quality, and hopefully I'll be able to play games a lot more regularly. Most of the Ask Me Anything kind of format, the talking head stuff, is because I can't play this on stream very reliably at the moment. Although this one's going all right. I have had streams where I've actually had to try and stop it, and I'm just looking at the YouTube one now. It doesn't look particularly great. Widget says, speaking of paints, assuming they bring in the org paints, what's your thinking for the DGB colour scheme? I have no idea. We have the, like... So the DGB logo at the moment is just black, white, and red. But I feel like a lot of paints kind of cover that sort of stuff off. It'll be interesting to see. If we can have an org paint that looks like along the lines of Thundercloud, for the Perseus, I'd go for that in a heartbeat. But I don't think we're going to get that. So, there we go. I'm still debating if I like lock down a disco paint for my Hermes. Even the default blue has grown on me. Yeah, so I quite like... I forget the names of them now. But I do quite like the black paint for it. And there's the one with white and a bunch of others. I think that might be the... Is that the trip line paint? That one's kind of cool. Yeah. So we get this done. We'll have a muck around with the tractor beam thing on this, because I still find it kind of useful. What I have noticed today, a new bug, is that when you're in large hangars, there seems to be one of those invisible barriers at the back end of the hangar. So if you try to put it on like the last two SCU, it really doesn't like it. There's an invisible barrier there. And it's you know, you need to put the back end of the Hermes right up against it in order to be able to, you know, kind of hook anything. So, there we go. Jump. So there we go. I don't know how much of that is coming through on audio. Is that loud enough on audio? Would you want it a little bit louder? Is it all right? Paragon, that's the one. Chief Paranoid, thank you. Yeah, I kind of like the Paragon paint as well. Game volume, too much, too little? Let me know. Answers on a postcard. So there we go. So who was saying that they were having problems with VR? How are you finding VR in Star Citizen? I've heard great things. What's the Can't remember who that was. Someone said that they were having problems with VR. Oh. UE Countenance. I don't even know what that is. What is that ship? That's an Idris, right? Yeah. No, I'm alright, thanks. I'll leave that alone. Oh, it might be far too low, Luna. Let me knock it up just a little bit. I don't wanna kill you with it. But has that helped any or not? Oh, that's cool, Chief. I might take a look. I am running out between this and an email game that we kind of playing with a group of friends and trying to get my bolt action army painted like I am, and you know, obviously doing this stuff for the channel as well. I am running out of spare time to do stuff. So yeah. So as you can hear, still playing on mouse and keyboard. Just want to try and get up to it. Oh, see, it was looking so good, and then he does that. See, he loses attitude control, and well, it was going all right. I'm just going to say that it was going okay, and then I screwed it right at the end. Screwed the pooch, but it's fine. There we go. Hopefully we don't bounce around the hangar or explode randomly. That would be good. Hello, Ashura. Welcome in. Good to see you. So the game audio was turned down quite a bit. I don't know if you can hear it now. I'm guessing you can now, right? Too much? Too little? It's not much. It's just, it's probably a little bit more exciting than just listening to my voice. Plus the fact that, you know, if I'm mashing the keys, you probably don't want to hear that either, right? Sorry for being late, fell asleep. Wow. I'm not angry, Ashra. I'm just disappointed. Oh no, I don't want that one. This is the so there's this weird thing at the moment where you've kind of got to aim higher than what you're after. Have you thought about shifting to decoupled as an intermediary between MK and the sticks? So yes, far too lazy. Oh, lol. Far too lazy at the moment. I'm gonna learn decoupled as sticks, so that's gonna be that. At the moment, it's not. I'm not going to bother doing that when 2 months down the line I'm going to have to relearn it. So it's a lazy thing. But decoupled is absolutely something that I want to get learning. You know. There's me going, yeah, you know, I've got it down, and then I really don't have it down. So there we go. That worked well. Yeah, these cryopods do not want to play, do they? They're a bit of a pain in the ass to unload. Does anyone else have a pain in the ass unloading cryopods, or is it just me? I've got June's, Freeman Stills, water sounds. Okay. Wait, why is that your background sound? What's going on? What do you know that we don't? Wait, what? Rescue Shack. Really like the movable tractor unit. Yeah, it's kind of cool. So it struggles a bit when you get up to the size of like 8, 16, and 32 SCU containers, so I'm told. Now, I haven't moved that many of them. Interesting. Won't detach from the cargo grid. That's a bit sucky. I'll figure that out in a second. Lol. Oh, it's working better now. I thought that was going to be one of those ones where I was literally going to have to run down the ramp with a tractor beam gun just to attach it. But yeah, I feel like, you know, it's a bit fiddly, especially at range. I feel like this could do with the same kind of like zoom in ability that normal weapons have, just to make sure that you're targeting the right thing or that you're loading stuff up, especially if you're loading smaller freight elevators, because there isn't a lot of space on them. So being able to fill them and not, you know, not fill them, good lord, words, and not miss stuff, and then having to go back and kind of like fix it later is kind of key, I think, for efficient unloading with a tractor beam. But as you can see, when you've got a big space to play with, this is kind of really useful. Yeah, I think like internal spaces could, for a lot of ships, could do with this. Like, you know, ships like the Vulture, where you've got to basically leave yourself completely vulnerable to head down and unload everything. I mean, I guess that's kind of the point, right? Because it's Drake. And Drake is every expense spared. So the idea of putting in some sort of remote system like that just for the sake of unloading your hopper is probably not part of the Drake aesthetic. And I get that, kind of. But it does make it a pain in the ass, because you lose all your situational awareness climbing down that ladder and stepping away from the bridge. The first indication you're going to have that you're under attack is when you start taking fire. And by then, in a ship as small as the Vulture, that's kind of going to be too late, isn't it, really? You know, unless you're getting attacked by, I don't know, a Merlin or an Archimedes. But even then, it's going to be rough. I was on my Cutlass today and saw what I think was a small unit in there. Not sure if it's a placeholder. Too busy remapping controls. Having fun with that, I can tell. So there we go. Right. Okay, now. So, let's send that back. See if we can turn around quickly and see it running back on the rails. There you go. That's kind of cool. Okay, so we're going to jump out. We're going to close the ramp because it's very close to the freight elevator door. And then we're going to hand these in and see how we're doing. I think they were about... Oh, wouldn't it be funny if some of this wasn't for new Babbage? Wouldn't that just be hilarious? Hello, mate. Come and join. Wouldn't that be funny if that was what the problem was? Oh yes. So when you are in VR, my understanding is that zoom just doesn't work. Full stop. The end. Unless you're in FPS like ADS, that works, but there is no zoom in VR. But yeah, there is no zoom for tractor beam options at the tractor beam systems at the moment. You're right. I have a feeling I know what I'm going to need to do here, and that's going to make it worse, right? Which is, I might need to send this down and go get my Argo Atlas. You know, it's just so much easier to do in first person than it is like that. Okay. Hey, Jim. Don't you go stealing my stuff. I'll shoot you. I'll shoot you dead, man. But yeah, give it a second. I'm just gonna... For a moment there, I completely 404'd on whether I did say, didn't I, that I was tired and I was struggling with this. But yeah, decoupled's on the list of things to do. There's a bunch of stuff on the list of things to do, and core more armor, really? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's a good plan. No, it's all right, Jigsaw. Oh, God, here we go. I thought this might be the case. Jamlak, if you want to come back across, I'm going to get the Argo Atlas up. And I'm going to shift it across to the other freight elevator. I don't know what... Unless something's not attached. Is it that something's not attached? What do you think? I reckon something's not attached here. Let's see if we can figure out what it is. Ugh. But there we go. Hey, SC Kingdom. Well, that's going well, Jamlak. Yeah, so you stay there, mate. Don't go on the lift. I'll drop the Harmies down and call the Atlas up, and then I guess the rest of the stream will be moving stuff from that freight elevator to that freight elevator. In fact, Jamlak, even better than that, do you want to start unloading that for me? Out of the elevator, just onto the landing pad, and then we can maybe go from there. That might work. And then pop it back in, figure out what the problem is. If you've got a tractor beam. Or you could just sit there in your Karma armor and, you know, look vomit inducing. It's entirely up to you. You've crashed. Oh no. Oh mate. Yeah, not a fan of human popsicles. Yeah, we picked up a few Vandal ones from the Vandal missions, which are good fun. Yeah, this is, you know, when sort of stuff like this comes in, I know people are kind of in a rush to get it done, and I get that, but I kind of like it because I don't mind cargo running, and I don't mind mining and refining, you know, and all that sort of stuff. Of course, we all enjoy the combat side of things, but you know, I don't find that stuff too bad, right? So what I quite like about it is that I'm able to just, you know, kind of complete them at my own pace, and it keeps things a little bit fresh, right? I don't mine and refine unless I'm doing it for this stuff, right? Also, how do you feel about mushrooms? Because this is the Molina Mold stuff, and I feel like I'm doing this wrong. I feel like this is how you spread it, by bringing it to other places. But you know, whatever, it's fine. We'll pop this in and... Oh wait, has it got to be delivered to another location? It can't be delivered here. Is that what we're saying? I know. Wait, it showed up everything at my other location. I know, that did work. Okay. Weird. We're going to do that a few more times. And I'm guessing this is part of the collection aid bit, because it wasn't moving it so much as it was finding it, then moving it. So let's have a look. What were we... This has been really weird at times, where it just does not want to let me scroll. SC Kingdom, I'm not going to be able to answer that, my friend. I am not up on what my upscaling and native res stuff does. Is anyone else? Do we have any tech wizards in the chat able to help SC Kingdom out with their question? Because I'm not going to lie, mate, I'm probably not the right person to answer that for you. It just... the finer points of graphics in this game escape me. I basically muck around with the settings until something works, and that's pretty much it. That's that's my... Ah, here we go. Collect me... No, that's not the same one, is it? So there's one in here, which is the... Deliver 6 or 5 Molina Mold. These are all collect. Collect, collect, collect. 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 That's not the same mission because that's containers, not... I think it's disappeared and it's not coming back, you know. That's what I think it's doing. I think it's disappeared and it's not coming back. Let's... We got Dakari pods. We got Bexalite. Not going to be that much. We got Borays. We got Laranite. Of course. Okay. Oh, no worries, mate. No, it's all good. Widget says, I did combat fast enough for transport and collections for over 2 weeks before I even started them. Avoided all the broken freight elevators, reminders, and interdiction queues just by waiting. Yeah, so I had a couple of instances where I would get kind of caught out by people. I'd done a bunch of mining stuff and then the homies just blew up going to Port Trussler, which I assume was a torp. Oh, is it still not? Hang on, mate. Before you move it, I just want to see, can I send this down now? And if so, can we put stuff on and No, it is just fucked, isn't it? Okay, fine. Good spot, well made. We're not getting the Atlas up now, though, are we? Because it's all on the pad. What do you reckon? Should we move it across the pad over there and I bring the Atlas up, or should we just move it? Just move it. Understood. In that case, I'll shift the homies out of the way. Yeah. As someone that's never been to physical Citizen Con, I prefer the digital ones. Look, I will say this, right, is I prefer the physical ones. Full stop, the end. They are so much fun. I'll try not to kill you with the engines when I turn them on, mate. I just want to see if I can get out of the way a bit, so we can move things in a more direct line rather than try to move around it, right?
Engines are off.
So there we go. Bring the Atlas up in the other lift. So the Atlas isn't stored at the minute. It's only on my ASOP terminal. I don't have it in my inventory, unfortunately. Yeah, Manchester and Leicester. Yeah, so, yeah. So I do like them so much more than I do the other stuff, right? However, if what happens is digital Citizen Cons for a couple of years enable them to focus on getting other stuff out, then I can take that as a hit, right? That's fine. Like, whatever. The bit that I kind of don't want to, you know, I don't want them to become the replacement for CitizenCon. There is something kind of cool happens when you get that many people in the same space talking about CitizenCon, enjoying it, you know, and as a general rule, you know, trolls don't spend $200 $100 on a ticket, plus, you know, the travel, plus the hotel and everything else, to go about whinge about a game. So what you do is you remove all negativity from the game. And you just kind of end up with people who are positive about it and want to enjoy it. And for 2 days out of the year, if it's a 2-day event, for 2 days out of the year, you get to be hype about Star Citizen. We all know that they take their time to do stuff. We all know that the first implementation of things isn't always great. We are aware of all of these things. Painfully, as fans of the game, we know all this stuff. What I really do like about those sorts of events is that we all know it, so we don't need to say it repeatedly. You know, not everything that happens needs to be tempered with a, well, yeah, but you know CIG and blah 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 blah. It's like, well, yeah, I do. So we don't need to repeat it ad nauseum. We can just have a couple of days where we enjoy it, and that's been great. And I've got to say, the last one in Manchester, if you're interested in what that experience was like, I've actually got a video on it. It wasn't great performing, but it's really important because it's for me anyway, because it's a personal account of that experience. And I think that's kind of key when you have these experiences, is you've got all the marketing gump from CIG. It's really important to have people's takes on it, I think, for everyone else to decide whether or not it's something they want to take part in or not. So that's kind of cool, right? So there is that video, and it just blew me away. I think it's probably the best event they've done because it was far more themed. Now, I've done both of the ones in Manchester, and the first one felt like a corporate show-off with a themed community area that had, like, you know, like a themed eating area and stuff like this, right? And all the community booths and whatnot. So that was kind of cool. But the last one felt so much more Star Citizen. It was so much more of an event and a celebration of the game and what's brought us all together in the first place. And that's not to be sniffed at. You know, I love gaming because it brings people together, but what you don't get from the digital stuff is you don't get that bringing people together. Everyone sits in Twitch chat and chats about it with, you know, the Star Citizen guys, and you know, and they all shout at each other in Twitch. But what you don't get is that kind of meeting and those kind of organic interactions between people. And that, for me, is one of the most important parts of gaming. It's one of the bits for gaming, for me, that is more kind of... That's more what gaming is about. Gaming's the thing we do with each other. Right, we're missing a cryopod somewhere. Jam. I did see one over here, which is why I went and had a look. But we are apparently missing a cryopod somewhere. Maybe I blew it across the room when I was... Here we go. I knew there was one over here somewhere. You bring the elevator back up, Jam, and I'll pop this one on it. Or not. You can just keep running that way. That works too. Thanks, Luke. But yeah. Gaming is more fun with friends, simple. So absolutely. The Hornet and all the theming was super cool. It really was. It was good. I saw you there at Bar Citizens, says Timble, on that Friday before, but I was shooting... Mate, and I get that. I completely understand it. But honestly, the way I am now is the way I am in real life, right? There's no airs and graces put on. I swear at inappropriate times. I make inappropriate jokes. If anything, I am a little bit more polite with the humour here, but that's more because I don't need YouTube kind of killing my channel because I'm rude. No joy. So yeah, you're more than welcome to come up. And hey, next time, what we did in the Discord is we put a group together to talk about, like, if anyone wants to come along, if anyone wants to get involved, you know, we arranged where we were staying and all that sort of stuff. So if there is a next one and we're going to go to it, that stuff will all happen again, and it will be, you know, anyone from here is welcome to come along. That's the whole point. DGP's always been about building a community. Ooh, Raft Alliance and Green Livery. Okay, so what did I hit? Was that... I don't even know which part of the rep award we just hit. Let's have a look. Okay, so we just smashed the 90% mark. Fine. Oh, no, we did the raft. So it was the transport bit we hit. Hey, go us. Woo! Next event I can go to is a Bar Citizen in Milton Keynes in May, I think. That's cool. Yeah, so I haven't yet done the been to the Bar Citizens around here. I'm tempted to try and organise one on the South Coast, but I don't know. I feel like I could probably use a little bit more. I don't know. I could do with a little bit more visibility in the community before I'd be able to organise one single-handed like that, because I can't imagine anything worse than organising one and like nothing happening, people not turning up. But I'd certainly give it a go if people were interested. Would be fun to go to an SE event, but I'm in the States. There's plenty of them around in the state. Oh my good lord. Is that what this is about now, Jamlak? Is this the, Dude, you're scooting around on the floor. Check you out. Also, just give us a flex, Jamlak, in your armour. Give us a flex in the Koromor armour so people can see how disgusting it is. This is what happens when you put textures on low. It looks like chewing gum. But yeah. Hope to make a CitizenCon one day. Whoa. Yeah, there you go. Nice. Looking good. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Ice. Thank you, mate. Yeah. And not that ice. We're talking about in-game pressurized ice. So let's have a look then. Contracts, offers. I guess we just pick up a bunch of these. We don't want to do the big ones, do we, Jamlak? We want to do the small ones, isn't that right? A few guys down the pub. Yeah, I mean, I'm good with the few guys down the pub idea. 8 SU. Let's do that one. Accept offer. Here we go. This is the other thing I found as well, is sometimes it really doesn't like it doing that. So let's give that another go, shall we? Good lord. Was that a... Oh no, it did work. Okay. So we have got it. Right, let's send it down. And then I guess I can just call it down, call it up, call it down, all that sort of stuff. And just keep going, right? Thanks, mate. There we go. Small supply of research resource. That's all right, mate. I should be able to call it back up again. There's a lot there. Okay, while you're doing that, I'm gonna... Contracts, offers... No, not collection. Priority. Yeah, so this is it. Welcome to patch 4.6 gameplay. Contract manager. Find mission, click up on lift, click down on lift. There you go. This is peak Star Citizen 2026. Oh my good lord, man. What is all this? This is Laranite and oh no, pressurized ice still. I was going to say, bloody hell. That's more than enough, mate. That's going to get me there. No issues at all. Thank you very much for that. So yeah. But yeah. The CitizenCon, for people that are thinking about going there, I'd definitely give it a go. I wouldn't go myself. I wouldn't go on my own, I don't think. Not unless I knew I was meeting people there. Because it's something that needs to be shared, right? Or unless you are one of those people that's really kind of like, you're outgoing, you can go and just talk to people. If that's you, CitizenCon, you are gonna love it. because what's great about CitizenCon is every time I've been, everyone's chatting with everyone else. Everyone says hello. Everyone's very friendly. You know, like we were taking photos in front of one of the walls. They had like the Star Citizen. Like loads of people got their photos taken in front of it, right? Like everyone was helping everyone out. Everyone was chatting. You know, it wasn't just the, oh hey, would you like me to take a photo for you? It was, oh hey, you know, I can take a photo for you. Like, how long have you been backing? What ships have you got? You know, what was, you know, how have you found the event? Have you really enjoyed it? All that sort of stuff is incredible too, right? It's really good fun to be able to do that with people. So yeah, that's kind of that was my highlight for CitizenCon. And of course, then getting to be in the room where they did that huge 1 hour gameplay demo of Squadron 42 was incredible as well. You know, no word of a lie. That was quite a moment. But yeah, if you need more fresh from New Babbage, Blams, I think we're going to be good, mate. I genuinely think the one challenge here is me keeping up enough and this moving quickly enough for me to actually be able to complete this at a decent rate. I mean, I found the right mission now, but there we go. Tim says, I'm hoping it's in the US this year. I spent a bit too much in 24. A US or Canadian one would be a lot easier to manage. Yeah. And this is, so when people say, like, you know, what is it that you're monetizing for? So what I will likely be doing in the short term is I'll be doing a Patreon. And the Patreon is literally for a couple of things, right? What is beginning to become apparent through a number of factors is that my rig is going to need, hopefully once things calm down on the RAM front, my rig is going to need some upgrades. Also, to be able to go to CitizenCon, wherever that is. And that's it. Like, that's all the monetization for. No one needs to do it. I reiterate, as I always do, this is not my job. The money is not a prerequisite of me doing this. I don't go away if there's no money. If all you do is you come in and you lurk, that's enough. Anything more than that is lovely. If you come in and chat, if you come in and play as part of the community, all that sort of stuff, that's all I want. That's all I want for people. But certain people insist on being incredibly generous, and every time I tell them they don't need that, their answer is, well, get a bloody Patreon then. So I'm going to get a bloody Patreon then. And there we go. So there's that. Do you know what, Blam? The crashes in the Squadron 42 demo were just comedy moments. They were comedy gold for everyone. It was great. Because you expect it, right? It's Star Citizen. What is a Star Citizen gameplay demo, live gameplay demo, without a crash or two? Like, is it even... If there's no crash, we're all just going to say it's recorded. Right? That's what it is. No crash, recorded. Full stop, the end. Even if someone sits there and pretends like they're playing. But that's the beauty of it, is that, you know, you go to these things, and we weren't even drinking that much. I think during the events, or during the days themselves, I think we maybe had 1-2 beers, if that. Like, we were not living up to the drinkers part of Drinkers with Gaming Problems. We really weren't. But yeah, so that's all it's going to be. In the Patreon stuff, I don't know how to reward people. What I really don't, because what I don't want to do is I don't want to paywall content. So what the Patreon might be is the Patreon might be me just doing other stuff, right? So I might find another game. It might be other space games. It might be other games entirely. But when I'm playing another game, I might go, hey, I'm just going to record this one. And I'll talk a little bit about it. And that stuff will go up on the Patreon. Because obviously doing that can hurt your channel. If I suddenly start playing Company of Heroes 2, or I start playing Red Dead, or whatever else, those sorts of things can... You know, channels can become really confusing, and everyone else is going, oh my god, he's becoming a variety gamer and I want no part of this. Like, and I understand that entirely. So maybe that's what we do with Patreon, and maybe there'll be some other stuff on it as well. But the key thing here is I don't want to paywall anything, as we all know, right? Paywalling is arse. So that'll be all that is. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see in a moment just how close I've gotten to the reward here. So yeah, Jamlack is kind of like our, I don't know, what would you call yourself, Jamlack? You're like our, I don't know, quartermaster? Like the go-to guy for supplies when this happens? When this happens, guarantee whatever supplies are in it, Jamlack's got about 3,000 SCU of it, and he just basically kind of then becomes our dealer, I guess, for everything else. So thanks, Jamlack. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so that's what happens when you have textures on low. Look at that. How bad is that? Blech. Yeah. I bought some faster RAM, a new motherboard, and a new CPU. Need to upgrade my GPU, but that might have to wait till prices comes down. Yeah, it's RAM's the bit that scares me at the moment. Because what I want to do is I'd like to go future-proof myself and go to RAM, but also to a better chip, right? I'm on a 5600X. The problem is, obviously, to go up to a better chip, I'm going to need new RAM because my current RAM is DDR4. And if I'm going to go for a better chip, I'll probably go for one of the X3D chips. So the want of getting a processor means processor, motherboard, and everything else in order to future-proof it. And yeah, it's going to be a bit of a mission. And I've got, you know, as you guys know, I'm saving for a house at the moment, so it's not like I can just go and spunk $5,000 on a computer. As priorities go, the house is obviously a priority. So yeah, RAM prices are insane. Yeah, that's it. Exactly that. It's RAM that freaks me out at the moment. Right, let's see where we are. Where we are in terms of journal. Let's have a look. We're almost there, boys. Almost there. I reckon 2 more. What are they, 300, the small ones? And then I'll be completed. We can watch this on the stream. That'll be awesome. I've started to do some SC content myself, says Black and Earth. I've only played around 15 hours total over the past couple of years, but started to play it a lot more now. Hopefully replaces DayZ at some point. Yes, because you've been streaming DayZ a lot, Blacken, haven't you? Yeah, if you want to... just because I'm doing this, Blackened, can you, on Discord, can you sling me a link to your channel? I'll pop it in chat. To your Twitch channel, and we'll get that. We'll get that linked. But yeah, and you're more than welcome to come and join us. The only thing I will say is Friday nights, Friday nights are a little bit special for us, right? Nobody streams, and the rule is that if you're going to come on at a Friday night ops, we don't want people to stream. You've got to ask. And the whole point of that is that it's the friends down the pub when we can't all be friends in the same place, right, geographically. So we go in there, we talk about what it is we want to do, we gob off about this is the problem. So there you go. That there is what I've been talking about. Okay, so we've been doing really well. We've handed in a bunch of these, but this is now where it starts to get a bit of a pain in the ass. It's completed, 8 of 8. But I can't get the new mission. We've just had a look. So we need to abandon that one, and the problem with that is, generally speaking, those are, you don't get the stuff back. So if you are looking to do the collection stuff, if you're doing the mining, make sure that you end up getting over what you need to get, because you will have a couple of those, and they will, kind of affect your ability to complete. But yeah, it's a pain in the ass that it happens, but it's good that you guys have seen it, so you know I wasn't talking bollocks. But yeah. So there we go. After you finish, you can then do the missions for your alt. What alt? Hey, Perseus Alliance Aid Camo. Well, I mean, I guess we can always go put that on the Perseus, right? Thank you for that, Jimrock. Now, my home port is ArcCorp. So, do we want to go to ArcCorp and put the Alliance Aid camo on my Perseus and see what it looks like? What do you reckon? Is that something we want to do right now? Welcome. Yeah, we want to go see it put on? Okay, cool. Let's go and get that done. Micro Centers and do some bundle deals on... Yeah, so I'm going to get, like I said, at the moment, it's... The price is an issue, but saving for a house is priority over everything else. So yeah, it's primarily the house thing. So that, and obviously that's not a quick thing to resolve. But for those that don't know my kind of background, other than the military side of things, I was married, got divorced, moved, and since then, for one reason or another, when I got divorced, we were living in the Midlands in the UK, which is about as far away from the water as you can get, which is a problem when you are a maritime professional, because it doesn't leave you a lot in terms of options for jobs, right? So what I had to do was obviously relocate. That ate up a lot of money, and I've been renting down here. And renting, well, it doesn't leave you a lot of money to go and do other stuff, right? It really doesn't. No worried, Black India. It's a little bit scary in there, man. There are some big ass fleets. But yeah, I mean, the good news, Black India, if you ever want to, there are so many people in TGP with incredible fleets. If you ever want to borrow something, mate, you just ask. Also, if you're playing at the moment the free fly, there's a bunch of ships. Raft, not Raft, Mole, Salvation, Golem, Cutty Black. There's a bunch of others as well, I think. So yeah, you've got... There's some really kind of, fun ships to play around with. Yeah, Ashra's not wrong. Yeah, we're the silly ones for having ridiculously sized fleets. You're not wrong, sir. You are not wrong. Oh, every single time I get a double E. And I have no idea why. The map's been doing this a lot. And that's really annoying. But it's fine, we'll figure it out as we get there. I mean, I could have just backspaced, I guess, but that wouldn't have helped Jan get there, would it? But we don't want to go to the comms array. Maybe it'll work now. What do you reckon? Double A, double E rather. Yeah, every single time. All the backers have regrets, not necessarily all about what we spent, but how I could have got my fleet way cheaper by doing more Warbond CCU's chains and such back then. Melting to Shry stuff is the winning strat, says Blandsmith. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not overly bothered, right, about my fleet and the money that gets there. Now, I will caveat that when I buy ships, back when I was buying them, if I had the money to buy them, I would buy them. And if that meant buying them outright rather than going CCU chains or stuff, that's whatever. I am now more in the CCU game because money is not as free as it was before. Because, of course, now I'm saving to buy a house and everything else. And then, when it comes to things like some of the ships in my fleet, obviously, it's easy to say that you're not bothered about money on that front because I didn't buy them. So, I want to be completely transparent there. It's not that I'm not bothered about the money, but when it comes to myself and my hobby, and how I enjoy myself, like I'll often buy direct from Games Workshop, as in go into the store, rather than buy it through a third party where I might be able to get 10-15% off. because I enjoy the experience of going into the store and chatting with people and all that sort of stuff. So, and this is why I say it's a really bad idea that I do any sort of buyer's guides or reviews like that. I will look at what I think for a ship, like I did with the Moth, right? But I was talking about it from my perspective. I wasn't trying to make any comparisons in terms of telling anyone, hey, if you've got this, then you probably want to go to this, but if you've got that, then stay with that, don't go with this. I don't go into that because everyone's hobby and the way they enjoy themselves is subjective and very, very personal. So there's no point. Anytime I talk about how people do stuff, you know, or how I enjoy hobby or how I find a ship, it's always from my personal perspective. And you'll never hear me say, you know, I think you should buy this or I don't think you should buy this. When we get questions like that in chat, I'll always put it out and say other people might have an opinion, but it's up to you. So there we go. No money says Blackened 3 kids. Absolutely. So yeah, I have CCU's one big ship and about $300 I try new ships with, and that's not a bad way to go as well, right? Is being able to melt stuff and try them again. It's kind of useful. Jamlack, I'm gonna just eject and leave you to it. I'll put this on a collision course, so you enjoy that, my friend. I'll see you later. Oi. I am, of course, kidding. Also, my character is basically John Wick at home, as in, can we have John Wick? No, I have John Wick at home. So, yeah. This is John Wick at home. I mean, I don't regret it per se, says AV, but I had melted and rebought them with chains, and it's ridiculous how much credit I have left over. Literally bought an Idris and Kraken off the credit. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of crazy, but, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, I just don't know how to... Since 2015, I have a grand total of 2 ships, 3 if you include the starter pack. Yeah, John Wick Space, yeah, John Wick budget, Team U edition, that's what I've got. That's why he keeps the helmet on. Jamlack's had a bit of a haircut since the last time I've seen him. Nice. Right. Perseus, Wolf, and Cutter. Interesting. That's quite a selection. Yeah, my starter ship is now was my Connie Taurus, but since we all got, well, I say we all got, those backers who were concierge got the game package for free on top. I melted that down and did some other stuff with it. Although somewhere in my inventory, I still do have a Squadron 42 game package that is still giftable, so we'll probably do a giveaway with that. What I think I might do with that is I might ask people to submit direct to me, or in a channel maybe where people can't see what's going on. You can post, but you can't see other people's posts, and like give us a story about someone deserving to have the game. Doesn't necessarily need to be a backer. That might be quite good, because I want to make sure it goes to someone who, you know, who maybe might not otherwise have access to it. Because that's what gaming's all about, right? What I'm not gonna do, and what would be really cool, is if if someone get them on to watch a stream, even if it's for a little bit, we can give them the game package, and then if they want to go after that, that's fine. But that would be really nice to do. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to advertise it, because all that happens when you advertise it, a bunch of people turn up, they, do whatever they're going to do, and then they leave once they've got the win. Everything that I've seen from people says that giveaways don't necessarily, have a positive impact on your channel, and on a lot of occasions they can actually have a negative impact, and the last thing I want to do is trying to do some misguided attempt at expanding my viewership a little, only to make it really bad for everyone on here. That just strikes me as a really bad idea. Jamlack, where's Area 18 gone? What have you done with Area 18, Jamlack? Where's it gone? Am I just being blind? Is that what's... Oh no, there it is. Go. Ooh, Area 18 in daylight. That's exciting. Don't get out of the chair when I'm going to quantum jump, like you'll fall out. I've never done a CCU. My husband and brother purchased most of my fleet. Nice, Luna. That's the way forward. That's the way to go. Yeah, I'm hoping we get some sort of physical edition with Star Citizen. The question is, let's say, for example, what if they do some ridiculously priced edition, right? Like say $200, $300, $400, but you get a flight helmet with it, just like something that sits on the side. How many people would go for that? You get one of the in-game like helmets. I don't know, whatever. I guess for a lot of people it would depend on the helmet, right? If that was even an option for them. Wolf is standalone LTI. Persis is $215 CCU, and Cutter was when it was released. Nice. That's a really nicely priced Persis, by the way. That's kind of tasty. There we go. Again, everything's on low, so it's a bit flat and it's a bit this sort of stuff. I'm really quite looking forward to being able to run this in much higher resolutions. But it's gonna be a bit of a while, and as we all know, Star Citizen is a resource hog at the best of times. So yeah, right, we got an extra large hangar here because it's my primary landing zone. So let's see. Am I going to have to quit out of the game and come back in because of the award, or is it going to be added to my account anyway? I'm going to have to quit out and come back, right? Yeah, they won't let you store credit for a new physical object. Unfortunately, not. Relog, yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. Yeah, I would definitely, if someone's been streaming this on one PC, I would 100% look into a second PC for it.
Warning. Leaving safe zone. Landing gear deployed. Takeoff complete.
Lol. Yeah. So the Hermes really doesn't like going up, huh?
Takeoff complete.
That was a little bit. It was looking so good, and then I saw the speed we were coming down through the hangar. I was like, "Well, this isn't going to go right. This is going to be a little bit uncomfortable." But there we go. There we go. That's better. Sorry, Jamlak. No, you can't claim for whiplash, mate. It's just a hazard of the job. We can Cora more in this elevator if you like. Just keep your hands to yourself, you saucy minx. I don't think it has got VTOLs. If it has, I've been doing it wrong this whole time, and that's fine. I've tried hitting the VTOL key before and nothing's happened, so I don't think so.
To the ASOC vehicle retrieval system.
Oh, you do have VTOLs, okay. Wait, so where are they then? Where are the is there actually an animation for it or not? Because I'm gonna start. Sorry, Gemlak, I'm gonna figure this bit out first. Well, I tried to record SC gameplay with OBS or Radeon's one. It caches SC. Yeah, it's tough. Capturing gameplay is tough. It has them. I don't think the engines rotate. Oh, nice. Okay. So, let's have a look. VTOL. So if I go K, which is VTOL, right? Ooh, it does have VTOL. Okay. So... But even so, I mean, alright, that's a bit quicker. But even with VTOL on, that's rough. Right, that's not quick. Or is it just because I've got the landing gear out? Is that what it is? So I'm going to hit K again. Is that what it is? Is it those downward thrusters? K? No, it's not. I thought that was... Okay. So we're now VTOL off. Okay, so it's the larger thrusters, look. There we go. Those are your VTOLs. That's all it is. It's those 4 double thrusters are the VTOL. Well, I never. Well, blow me down. There we go. We have VTOLs, so that's exciting. You know, hey, every day's a school day with Star Citizen. Sometimes you just don't know. Do you know what I mean? Oh, do I need gear out? That'll be good. Let's do some gear, shall we? Now let's land. Wow. This is why I don't like flying in third person. I find it really disorienting. There we go. What if CIG had a concept of rerouting thrust with normal thrusters in VTOL? Very possibly. Still kind of cool, though. She does feel a bit empty as a ship. I will say that, the Hermes. So there we go. Right. Where's Jamlet got? Jamlet? Oh, he's disappeared up top. I guess
To the ASOP
because
retrieval system.
we're going to need to...
Your vehicle has been moved to our storage facility.
Right. So I'm just going to check now. I'm guessing that because it's added, it won't be in-game yet. But let's have a look. Select ship. Persis. Okay, so skin-wise for the Persis, we don't have that much. I think I've literally got... There you go, Thundercloud. Equipped. Save changes and equip. So there's the Thundercloud livery. Which is beautiful. So... Let's... I'm just going to jump out of the game quickly. If I got a standby... Yes, I have. Ooh, this is exciting. So I'm going to do this. So I'm going to do that bit. I've just realised I haven't got the mic added, so I'll just explain it here. I'm going to be right back up, and then I'm just going to quit out the game, come back in, and then we'll go from there, and we'll have a look at the new skin, and we'll also have a look at the Thundercloud skin. So bear with me just a second. Back in a moment. Okay, so that should be us back, and you should be on the loading screen, and we should be about to, with any luck, loading into the hangar. I don't want to load into the habs and do all that running. But we'll have a look at the Perseus, we'll have a look at the new livery for it, and see how that... Hey, there we go. Jamlack, you're all good to come back down, my friend. You won't glitch out. But we can have a look at the Perseus, which is here. I closed the client completely, so hopefully that's fixed it. Just whether or not it's actually been awarded, I guess, is the key question. I didn't bother looking and seeing if it was on my account, but we'll figure it out. Let's have a look. It is there. Okay, so let's have a look at the Alliance Aid camo first. Let's load that one up, and let's call her up and see what we think.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system. Your vehicle has been delivered. Please visit us again.
She's so pretty. Yeah, it's doing fun things at the minute. There you go, Jam. You should be able to run across now, mate. Nice. Yeah, so there's a couple of things. So I'm on 32 gigabytes. So 5600X, 3800, oh sorry, 3080 graphics card, 32 gigabytes DDR4. So this is why sometimes I have some performance issues. But I'm just gonna jump in and kind of jump in the seat and have a look around, see what we think. They've definitely improved the performance. It used to be that under here, you'd have massive frame rate drops. So she's definitely doing better, which is, you know, encouraging. So here we go. This is, for those that have just joined us, because there's been a bit of a spike in people, this is the new paint for the Perseus as part of the event that's going on at the minute. This is the Alliance Aid paint. Looks very much like digital camo, and actually, that's not too bad at all. I'll tell you what we will do. Let's do this quickly. So like I said, I've dropped everything on low, because my computer does not enjoy streaming this and doing everything at the same time. And I'm probably going to have a fun here, and it's probably going to tell me it needs to buffer stuff, but whatever. Let's see if that makes it a little bit more... So it's a little bit more detailed. You can get, I think, a little bit more of a feel for the paint there. But that's quite pretty. Actually, I don't mind that at all. That's quite a nice little setup. But yeah, that's not a bad paint, to be honest. Interesting. She doesn't want to go up at all. She locked to the grid. Hello? I have engines. I'm pressing spacebar. And nothing's happening. You... Interesting. Okay, let's try this a different way. Oh, it's because I'm in the wrong ship. Seat. I always default to the left-hand seat. Nobody told me. Lol. There we go. That's quite funny. Yeah, just take us off a little bit, Jam, and then get rid of the stow the landing gear. Oh, well done, mate. Okay, coming out again. Thank you. So that's quite funny. Yeah. So, you know, Badger's pro gamer here got in the wrong seat. That went well. So yeah. Ta-da! There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, so that's where we are. Bring it down ever so slightly. Let's stow it. Yeah, that's actually quite a nice looking. She just looks aggressive. It's the lines. She just looks aggressive. I really like it. There we go. Nice. That's not actually a bad skin. Now, for those who haven't seen it, so this actually decelerates on the descent faster than the Hermes does, which is interesting. Do you want to jump out, Jam? We'll do the Thundercloud, and I'll bring that one up as well, because that's going to be an interesting one to have a look at too, I think. Although what is quite good fun with this is you can just do this. Did you hear the sound of my shins breaking? I did, Blamsmith. It was shared to us in the chat. We can have a look at that in a bit if people want. I can just try and talk about what might have caused that. There we go. You're out, are you? Good. Okay, so let's store that. And then we'll change the paint over. I want to get rid of the side chat because side chat in Star Citizen is just nothing good comes with side chat. This game on 1440p high or very high uses over 32 gigabytes of RAM for 60 FPS. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So there we go. Okay, so let's have a look now. Let's switch it around and let's go Thundercloud. And then, whilst we're doing this, we can pop a quick poll in chat and see what people prefer. So, Precious in Thundercloud. Hopefully I click save on that. I don't remember if I clicked save or not. So we might just get the Alliance Aid camo back again. That would be quite funny. When social twos are in, hopefully it might clean up, but ideally I'd like to see FP, pips have chat boxes. Ships, you mean, I guess. Yeah, they talked about this in the tech thing with Benoit last week. They talked about chats being a bit more localized and that sort of stuff. I can't tell. I think that is Thundercloud, isn't it? Yeah, that's Thundercloud. Whoop, whoop. So there we go. And the engines are on again, despite me having switched them off last time. But yeah. So yeah, they talked about having like local chats, and they were talking about needing to change everything because of proximity voice and stuff like that, which is good news. I do think Star Citizen are going to have to invest in their voice tech more than most other, if not all other games that are currently out, because I think you really are going to struggle in this. Just doing things normally with standard game voice. I think they need to, you know, the ability to hail and that switch you into a private voice channel with the person that you're talking to, as opposed to, you know, having to invite them into a Discord that you're using in you know. But there we go. There's the thundercloud paint. So there we go. So I kind of have a question for you. Okay. Here's the question. Here's the question. There we go. It's up. Which is the best Persian paint? Is it the Charred Thundercloud or the Cuck Alliance Aid? You vote. Let me know what you think. I know what it should be. Don't let the wording of the question sway you. But you know, I'm just saying, we will judge you personally if you know you choose specific options. But yeah, there we go. Still, my favorite ship in the game. Um, Absolutely stunning. Hey, Jumbo, good to see you, my friend. Welcome in. Thundercloud because it looks more World War II-ish. This is absolutely reminiscent of Naval Disruptive pattern camo. Absolutely. Not gonna lie, I like the one with the red nose, like the person who just stabbed someone. Yeah, like the picture of it flying through the wreckage of the hammerhead that everyone suddenly decided was proof that the Perseus was going to go around ramming everything. But yes, very, very cool. Very, very good looking ship. But yeah, there we go. So we'll put her back on the deck, but that's it. So I wasn't expecting to kind of get that finished off today, so thank you, Jamlak, for the ridiculous amount of ice that you handed over. I appreciate that.
Engines are off.
Yeah, still, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best looking ships in the game. I'll tell you what's really interesting. So one of the problems they had with this, and I don't know if they fixed it, was this weapon rack. There you go. Won't take. So it won't take these. It won't take rifles. It won't take tractor beam guns. It is not evident what this weapon locker is for. I think it's just a bug. But there we go. So that's that. But yeah, other than that, so I spent ages a little while back kind of filling this up. I had weapons in all the lockers. I had, you know, kind of like medals and stuff all over here. And I'm not stupid. I didn't use things that I couldn't afford to lose, but there were like security key cards and ASD blades and all that sort of stuff. And that was good fun to put around. Did all of that good stuff. And then stored it And in something that will come as a surprise to absolutely no one, when I came back to brought it out again, it was at a quote-unquote unknown location. So I didn't actually get to use it after all that time loading it up. And that's really something that CIG needs to fix, because we have that function. So they really needs to kind of take a look at that and fix it, because there's nothing more, you know, disheartening than doing all that. And, you know, it's not easy to run 20-odd guns out to a ship, right? Even to get it all loaded up and stuff, and all the pistols and things. And yeah, so that was a bit of a shame, because I even went to the extent of I had lasers and sights and everything else on those ships. So yeah, that's a shame. Parent plate is cool, and flintlock. Well, I'm going to call that there, and we seem to have come to the correct conclusion. 79% said Chad Thundercloud, and 21% were wrong. So there you go. Yeah, unknown status and destroyed when the ship is sitting on the plaid. Yeah, that's not great. So there we go. But that's the purchase. That's one of my favourite ships. We've all got to say, you know, thanks very much to Jamlek for coming in his massively metrosexual pink armour. So that's kind of cool. But I think that's probably a good place to call it. We've only got 5 minutes to run to the end of the day, and like I say, I've got an interesting day ahead at work tomorrow. Some big decisions to be made, and yeah, I'm gonna figure it out. It'll be fine in the long run. I think there's just going to be some short-term pain that we hadn't planned on, and some of it is about taking a bit of, I don't know, maybe making a bit of a stand for some colleagues who maybe are not being treated in the way that they should be treated. So that's the plan moving forward. We'll go from there and see how it all plays out. But yeah, there we go. It's been fun. Thank you very much for popping in and seeing us. And we will hopefully have a little bit more in terms of, you know, content. Managed to get a couple of videos out the last couple of weeks. Long may that continue. I'm going to do my best to keep that going, and we'll do our best. We'll see, huh? But there we go. Apologies, you've heard this music before, but I'm going to play this instead of my normal outro music because I kind of like it and I think it's cool. You've been watching Drinkers with Gaming Problems. Thank you very much for stopping by. I'll see you soon.